Hi, my name is Lorraine.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, my name's Ross, and you are listening to
And you're listening to
Tameside Voices.
Download this podcast for free.
Hello, this is Lorraine from Tameside Voices, and we're here today at the Safe Space Wellbeing Lab in St George's Church on Church Walk in Staley Bridge. And we're here to talk to one of the founders of the group, Rod Waddington. So good morning, Rod.
Hi, how are you doing? Nice to have you here.
Thank you. I'm not doing too bad, especially when I come here because it makes me feel better. Can I ask you why mental ill health is so prevalent at the moment?
I think there's a number of factors. One is the fact that the stigma has been or is being removed, and therefore people are more open to talk about their mental health. And I think that's a real plus factor. I think the other thing is that we've got so much going on that it's bubbling over. There's so much going around the world which is negative, and it's having that impact. And so people are almost forced to talk about it. You just got to look at the news, and once you start speaking about the news, a lot of emotions come up.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad things happening in the world at the moment. Plus, we've got people who are poverty stricken because wages are low, people are out of work. This particular area will probably have more problems than an affluent area, but that's how it's been all the time, isn't it, really? What do you do differently?
I think, let me add one extra thing there, in the sense that the mental health system has also failed people. And therefore they are fed up of going to try and book to see a GP. That's an issue. The other thing is that people have been put on medication left, right and centre, and not all the medication works. And therefore they have no other alternative but to come to charities and to talk about what's going on in their life, on the hope that they'd find some solutions.
Yes, because the GPs are limited for time, aren't they? And their first recourse is usually reach for the antidepressants when that person needs some sort of therapy. But they don't know where to direct them to because it's 2 years wait to see a counsellor. Exactly. So the voluntary sector are stepping in and filling that gap, thank goodness, because there'd be so many people desperate if that wasn't happening. So I want to thank you for everything you do. Can you tell me why Safe Space is different to other organisations at the moment?
Well, what we did is we said we want to be different. We do not want to be like some of the other charities, and I'm not knocking any of the charities. It's just that they're doing something different to what we're doing, and we really want to stand out as being different in the field. So, for example, when a person comes to us, although we do have a peer support base, so people can come in and have a brew and a chat and have some biscuits, that isn't why we exist. We say to people, if there's nothing in your life that you have that you want to change, then this is not the place for you. We can redirect you, we can signpost you to other charities that are there for having a brew and a coffee. But if you say to us, yes, there is something in your life you want to change, a habit, a belief, whatever that may be, we will then stick with you. So what we do is we do the GAD-7 and the PHQ-9 in order to get a base, not for diagnostic purposes. We're not working in that field, but just merely as a record to show people that they have made changes while they've been with us. We then slot them into doing education with us, because we run a number of training sessions, or we put them into coaching, or we put them into counselling on a one-to-one basis, or we put them into group sessions. And when they go through that, our hope is that they can go through, make the changes that they want. So we're very focused and outcomes-based, so that they can then leave us. The idea is not to keep them here as members of flag-waving communities, but to see changes in people's lives so that they then leave us. If there's another type of training that they want, an intervention in that way, they pop back in again. So we want to rotate people through the system. and not make them into a family that will never leave us. Obviously, we don't want them to leave us in the sense that they'll always come back, but not as every time we see the same faces around the same table, because that is when problems do creep in, because people drop their barriers.
Yes,
It becomes like the family. Then you have internal fights and gossipings and arguments and all the rest. We're not for that. We do things differently.
It's a matter of the learning, isn't it? You never stop learning, and you're giving people the tools to go out there and help other people and help themselves. So it's like spreading from here. Every person you send out that you've taught to help themselves may help 2 other people, and it'd be a better world if it went like that, wouldn't it?
It would. And I think you can hear from my accent, I come from South Africa, although my roots are here in the UK. My dad was from York. Nelson Mandela said, knowledge is power. And if we can give people knowledge, it gives them the power to make changes in their lives. We've lost that power to take a sense of responsibility for our actions and behavior and thoughts. And then what happens is we turn it into blame. We want to blame everybody else for our behavior. So if we can share knowledge with people that empowers them, they can then take power over their lives.
That's a powerful thing in itself, that is. Can I ask you what you see in the future, what you see doing with the group in the future?
Well, we've done a lot of research as well. I delivered a paper a couple of weeks back at Manchester University looking at what we've done here and how we've changed people's lives with regards to mental health, and to see the VCSE sector standing in the gap between the NHS and the predicament that they face in terms of their mental illnesses. Where we're taking it to is that we're now starting to work in the areas of needs. The 16 to 24-year-olds that are not in education, not in employment, and not in training. We know that there's 1 in 8 who are sitting at home, who have gone through schooling, gone through college, gone through university, but don't have jobs. And the question that is at the back of my mind is, why is this happening? And I believe it's because they lack the soft skills. If we talk about the hard skills, the content that they've learnt and the skills that they've learnt in those institutions, then it becomes a curriculum issue, then it's not ours. But I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that they don't have the resilience to be able to stand in front of people and present themselves, and to be able to submit that CV, get the response that, sorry, you're not fortunate to get this job, and then they pack up and they just dissolve and they don't try again. Instead of saying, well, I've lost that one, what's the next one? As a challenge. The resilience is not there within our young people. So we're going to be doing that, and I would really, here's a challenge to all the young people that see this podcast. If you're between 16 and 24 sitting at home, I want to talk to you.
Please come along. Please come along.
Please get hold of me. You'll find me on Facebook. You'll find me on a webpage. But make contact, because I need to ask you, what are the barriers that you are facing? I don't want people to tell you what you are facing. I want to hear from you. I want the voice. I don't want the echoes. I want to hear your voice. What is stopping you from getting a job?
So please come along. Please do. It's every Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
9 to 1.
Correct.
Even if you just want to come in for a brew, you can come and talk to Rod. You can join in one of the courses. It's helped me. It's helped many, many people. So please do. If you're out there, if you're struggling, especially if you're not in employment, come in and just talk. And I can guarantee that your life will be improved in some way. Yeah. So thank you very much, Rod. Thank you.
Thank you very
I do
much for the
appreciate
opportunity.
it.
And to all of the folks out there who are not employed, give us a shout, because we want to hear your story.
Please do. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Download this podcast for free